Hi, Leos. How are you? I hope that you're doing well. Today, we're going to have a look at your current situation right now for the month of June. We'll see what the situation is, what their feelings towards you are, and their next actions, and see what we can expect. All right, so this message is for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So feel free to check out your other placements. If it doesn't resonate for you, it might be for other Leos, and you might find a message for you in one of the other signs. And please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing so that you don't miss any future videos. So let's get started. So let's get some clues as to what the current situation is, so you know whether this is a message for you. Spirit and angels, can you please give me the messages of the current situation for my Leos, please? What's the current situation right now for my Leos, please, Spirit? So we've got triggered. We've got jealousy. We've got yearning, gossip, father figure, and addicted. Okay. So with the triggered, I feel like there might have been communication. It could have ended up in an argument. Even if it wasn't, I feel like somebody has said something that's either provoked the other person or it sparked some kind of emotions within that person that might have triggered something either from the past, causing them to overthink the situation. With the jealousy card, I feel like somebody might have said something that triggered a bit of jealousy in that person. Maybe someone accused someone of cheating. But I feel like with the yearning, there is still love in the situation. So if this is someone that you're already in a relationship with, I feel like somebody is maybe feeling, and this could come out from the insecurity. Someone's insecurity is triggering them to kind of overthink and go into the kind of worst case scenario thoughts, which is where, again, this might have been very, I feel like because it's a unfair accusation is what I'm getting, where somebody didn't really have a reason to accuse them of cheating, but there was just whatever the reason for that was came out of more of that person's head just because of overthinking and insecurity. It could have been because they maybe heard some kind of gossip, people talking about stuff that maybe drove them to this. Because I feel like it could be somebody being in your ear, if this is you, or in the other person's ear, telling them things that they either heard or just kind of thought, or it's somebody who doesn't really have that basis coming from any true proof or anything like that. With a father figure, I'm getting this could be either if you're dealing with someone with a masculine, that this person might have a child or children, or this could be also talking about like a father issues, which is why this maybe is happening. And with the addicted, I get like there's some kind of unhealthy attachment that needs to be looked at, especially for whoever is the insecure person. You know, if they're jumping to conclusions without having any basis in reality, and it is potentially coming from having father issues, this is something that this person needs to address. Because if this is a relationship that could be ultimately damaged due to self-sabotage, you know, someone could get hurt being accused for no reason, and that could ultimately end the relationship. But let's see, let's get some more information to find out what the situation is. Your spirit guides and angels, can you please give me some messages of the current situation for Leo and the person on their mind, please? What is the current situation between Leo and the person on their mind, please, Spirit? I feel like if this is a father figure, maybe they are, you know, dividing their time between you and maybe their child or their children. And maybe out of that insecurity, it could be that you might have accused them, or if you haven't said it to them, this is something that you are thinking about, is, you know, where that overthinking, that paranoia can take you into, or is this person dealing with the mother of the child? Are they trying to get back to them and then just playing me? There's a lot of overthinking I'm getting, because this other person, they do have a lot of other commitments. And I feel like you're second guessing a lot of that, whether that's true, that maybe you feel like they're lying to you. But I feel like there's a lot of questioning the past situation. And what this could also be is that if you've been cheated on by someone else before, and that's, you know, because that's happened in your past, and that's where these trust issues might come into play, is that you're kind of thinking about it, and then you're projecting these things onto this other person. I see you kind of being a lot in your head about the past. But with the Ascending card, I'm getting that that all this is for you to learn from, that you should, you know, if you've dealt with someone who was, let's say if you're a woman or even a man dealing with a man who has cheated on you, and maybe you see certain behaviors that, you know, you're kind of putting it on as a pattern, and you're thinking, oh, this is what this person was doing, so this person must be doing the same thing. But where in the past that person might have been lying to you, making up excuses as to why they can't see you, this other person, I'm getting, is actually busy. They're working, they're, you know, putting the effort with their family, which again, if this is a father, or even it could be a mother, but someone who has children, they are doing the right thing, so they don't have as much time to give to you. But you're seeing it as, oh, that other person lied to me, saying they don't have the time because they weren't seeing other people. This is what this other person must be doing as well now. And I feel like this is for you to learn that just because in the past it's happened, it doesn't mean it is the case now. And you projecting the situation from the past onto this other person could ruin the relationship. So it's telling you to be more careful and learn from the past, because this other person, there were other things that you could have seen that maybe you ignored certain red flags about them lying or being very elusive, deflect a lot when you would ask them a question, whereas this person has been very honest with you. And I feel like you kind of accusing them of things and making them be the bad person is where they're now considering to potentially end this situation. Because I've got completely done, which there's some kind of unhealthy dynamic in this situation. Whatever it is, somebody's considering ending this situation because there's a lot of kind of unhealthy, toxic attachments that cause insecurities and a lot of arguments. And somebody's just not really wanting to deal with that. What I'm getting is there's a reflection, which is somebody seeing the true colors. But again, if this is you or this person, and again, I've got the card of jealousy again, so this is just so you can see. It's somebody's being triggered. And again, it could be other people talking behind your back. It could be people who maybe don't want this to work out, that might be spreading rumors, spreading lies, but it's getting into someone's head. It could be someone's friends talking into their ear. Because the thing is, sometimes when you talk to your friends, right, and you tell them, this is what's happened in the past, and now I feel like this person could be the same, and your friends will say, oh, that must be it. And they could be trying to influence how you feel about it, whereas what you need to do is talk to this person directly and have an open, honest communication, have a conversation about it and see what they say. Because ultimately, as you've learned from the past, that whenever you try to talk to that person who did cheat on you or who did hurt you, like I said, they were never really honest. They were never really open. They tried to avoid answering, or, their behavior just kind of showed that they were hiding something. Whereas this person, if they're being honest and they have nothing to hide, they would be talking to you, and it should be a different type of conversation, which is why I feel like you should really have an open, honest conversation instead of accusations. Just try and come out of the space where how you're feeling. And although it can be rooted in the past experiences where the trust issues come to play, you also need to remember that this situation could be totally different, and you have to give this person a chance to have their say, to show you whether it is the same situation or not. So let's have a look. Spirit, what is the current situation between my Leos and the person on their mind, please? What is the truth of the situation between my Leo and the person on their mind, please? So let's see. What is the the truth of the situation. Okay, so we've got the microphone, convertible, checkered flag, and then we've got cat, inventor, and well. So with the microphone, I'm getting, again, there is some kind of, somebody has a strong opinion that they feel like they need to express, but it's also the symbol of communication, speaking your truth, but you have to give the other person a chance to speak their truth as well. So speaking up, but also listening is the key here. With the convertible, which is talking about options, it's also flexibility and the chance, the willingness to adapt. I feel like this is talking about this person, that they're kind of open to see how things go, but because this person has other things to worry about, not just this relationship, I feel like they're kind of going to go with the flow to see what happens, that if this doesn't work out, this person might be willing to just wave the flag and be done with it. Again, this could be you, but I feel like this is this person that if you give them a chance to, to speak as well, to say what they have to say, there might be a chance to fix this. But I feel like this person is kind of at the point that they see, I have other options. If this person doesn't trust me, if they're so hell-bent on seeing their truth, but not really willing to listen to me and see what my side of this is, because this person has gone through some hardships as well, they're not really willing to entertain it too much. And if that happens, it might result in an ending. I feel like that person's just at the point where they feel like if this is how you feel, then it's not really my problem, and they're just going to act aloof and be like, well, there's nothing I can do because this is how you feel, and I can't exactly convince you otherwise because you're not willing to listen, because you might be in an energy of kind of wanting things a certain way, not understanding and not really respecting the fact that this person has other responsibilities that they do need to attend, that as much as they like you, they can't just ignore everything and everyone else and just give their time to you only just so that you don't feel triggered or feel insecure, because ultimately it's not that person's job to do. If there's insecurity that you have, you need to address and you need to heal something within you. See, with that reflection, which is also talking about dark night of the soul, that's something that you need to work on. And this person seems to have enough experience and wisdom to understand that if this is a you problem, there's nothing they can do about it. And the healthiest way for them would be to walk away. Maybe one day when you've worked on it, maybe then you might reconnect. But ultimately, this person is not willing to stay for this, because I feel like they've already been through something like that and they don't want to repeat it. And they're willing to just try again with someone else. That's what I get, is this person has learned through experience that sometimes relationships don't work out. Sometimes if there's not enough trust and certain issues that ultimately take away from that foundation that a relationship needs in order to be healthy and successful, that they're not really going to stick around. They're just going to move on, and they know that there's going to be someone else that they can have this with. So it seems like there's something that you need to address. And yeah, with the well, this is what I'm getting. There's some kind of there's a need to go deeper to understand what's been triggering this feeling that needs to be addressed. So again, it's the shadow work that needs to be done, but somebody's self-sabotaging. Now, if this is the other way around, feel free to flip the script. But ultimately, there's someone who has a lot of responsibilities, work, family, things like that. And then there's another person who feels neglected, could be, but insecure. And ultimately, that's what's causing that codependency. And this person is causing things to kind of not really work out. And again, it's a self-sabotage thing where this person is so unaware of some wounds that they might have either from their childhood or from the past relationship that they still haven't healed. and that they need to address. But ultimately, there's a need for communication directly with this person, not talk to other people to get their opinion, because ultimately your friends, as great as they are, and they always want the best for you, hopefully, because sometimes people tend to meddle in things and then make things worse. But ultimately, they don't know what's going through that other person's mind. So you need to have that conversation with your person to understand, maybe even to explain where you're coming from, what's causing for you to feel that way, so that this can be addressed. Because again, otherwise, what I'm seeing is that this could lead to an ending, because someone's just being too, I don't want to say selfish, but they're too focused on how they feel and how this person's behavior affects them, but not really giving them the grace of understanding, right? Sometimes you don't message me as much because I understand you're too busy. You're focused on, spending time with your family. Again, I mean, children, right? Unless it's your family. But again, if this is someone who has other commitments elsewhere and not like a third party, but just, children from a previous relationship, you have to understand that this person will always, put their time into being with their children, because ultimately, if not, that doesn't make a great parent. And if that's someone who would ignore their own children just to be with you all the time, is that someone you really want? Because, the children still deserve the love, right? So it should be looked at as more of a, not from such a selfish energy where you need to understand they have other things that they need to tend to. And as long as they give you the time as well, then you should, there should be a certain level of trust if they didn't give you a reason not to trust them. But again, I feel like all this is coming from a past that you had with someone else, where they've hurt you, and you just got into this new relationship, or maybe it's not new, but it's affecting this relationship because of something you haven't healed. But let's see what the tarot says. Let's have a look at my out of hand tarot. So let's see, Spirit, how does this person currently feel about my Leo, please? How does this person on my Leo's mind currently feel about them, please? So we've got 10 Pentacles and 4 of Pentacles in reversed. So this person definitely has like a long term on their mind, especially if they already have a family. They're thinking about someone that, they want to be in their kids' lives, but that also means that this person is considering a lot more things, because it's not just about how they feel, but also, are you the right person to be in their children's lives? Because they wouldn't want to bring someone in who's not going to work out and will end in a month or so. So if there's been a question of that, I feel like this is why they're not as, they wouldn't be as hard to let this go if they see that this isn't going to lead to that long-term stability for them. With the 4 of Pentacles, I'm also getting that, that's what I'm saying, if it doesn't go, like they see that long-term potential with you, but also if there's been issues that cause this disconnect and arguments, and they'll ultimately see, okay, in the long term, that's not going to work because we're having a problem that we can't seem to resolve. They're not afraid to let this go, because again, they know they have other options, and there's plenty more other people that they could find this long-term stability with. So where you might be coming from, that kind of, jealous side of it, ultimately you can manifest this into your life, but it would be, again, because of self-sabotage, because instead of giving this person a benefit of the doubt and seeing them for all the green flags that they're giving you, where they are with you because they chose you, and you're not trusting it, then, because trust is one of the basics of a long-term relationship. If you don't have trust, you can't have anything. And this person is aware of that. And that's why they want to see if this can be fixed. But if not, they're not afraid to let this go, because they know that someone else is going to show up that they will be able to have this with. Anything else as to how this person feels about my Leo? Yeah, this person is aware that something needs to change in this situation. And again, whether this is you having this conversation where you can somehow resolve this and move forward from there in a better place, or if they realize that there is no way around this and this thing will need to end, but ultimately something needs to change, is what this person's feeling right now. Because right now things are just not improving. 3 of Swords. Yeah, so there could be And again, Three of Swords talks about third parties, but it's also heartbreak. And I feel like this whole situation is causing them more stress, and because they already have so many things to deal with, they want to release themselves from this burden. So again, what I'm getting is, if you can talk it out and resolve it so that you can move on together in a better way, in a healthy way, because if not, this person is ready to let go of the past. It would still hurt them, but they'll know they'll be okay. Yeah, because with the Queen of Wands reversed is the insecurity, being really moody, and this person is ready to take action and take the lead, even if it means leaving this behind. So you'll need to think long and hard as to what you want to do. Well, let's see. What are this person's next actions? What actions is this person going to take next towards my Leos? Let's see. What are their next actions? So we've got Four of Swords, Two of Pentacles reversed, Six of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, and Ace of Cups reversed. So I feel like this person might not be talking to you as much right now, which might be triggering you even more. But I'm getting that they need some time to think about this. And I feel like they're giving you that space as well so you can think about it, because again, it was likely to do with that argument that happened. And because this person has been juggling a lot of things, their home life, work life, family, again, they're kind of getting to the point where they're maybe trying to see how they can kind of balance things out in a better way to maybe make more time for you. But also they want to see that this will come. They want things to be more balanced between you two, because they do have a lot of love for you. With the Knight of Cups, I'm getting that they want to come with some kind of offer. So they might be asking you out, maybe, do something fun. But with the Ace of Cups, I'm getting there's some kind of disappointment, because I feel like you might be even avoiding them because you might be kind of in like a sulking energy. But they do want to fix this. Obviously, they don't want to let you go, but they're just aware that if things don't get any better, they will have no other choice. What's the Ace of Cups reversed, please? The Fool reversed. I feel like if they do take action towards you, and you might kind of reject them because you're still in that sulking energy, to them it's going to be like, I tried to take the step to get things into a better place, but ultimately to them it will be like there's no other way around it, and they're going to start, or they're already going to be in that kind of doubting energy. But I feel like they will see, well, if there's no way to fix this and get into a better place, then it's just going to have to end. And again, this is where the World, ending that chapter, could come into place. Now, again, this can go either way. If you are more open and willing to listen as much as talk, you might be able to actually sort it out, to understand where each other's coming from. But you have to give them the benefit of doubt. You can project something that's happened to you in the past by someone else if this person hasn't exactly given you the reason. If they treat you well and you know that they have other commitments in their life, you got to understand that they need to tend to these things as well. They can give you all their focus 24/7, because that is something that nobody can give you. You need to make yourself happy, and you have to fill your own cup, and that's something that you need to address. So if this is something that you don't want to end, like I said, there's a need for honest, open communication. Obviously, listen to what they say, but recognize that if this person is willing to talk to you, they're willing to understand where you're coming from, and they will give you as much, because they do want these things to work out between you two. Take that as a sign that this person isn't like that person that you've dealt with before. They're not like your ex. They just genuinely have real things that they need to deal with. But if this is a problem, and you need someone to give you attention all the time, then this might not be the right person for you. But ultimately, there's something that you do need to address and heal within you. So it's up to you. I hope this has helped. Again, this could go either way, but I hope that this gave you the message that you needed to hear. But just before we end this, I'll give you a message of what this person would tell you. Okay. Spirit, what would this person say to my Leos, please? And again, if you're the person that has other commitments and someone is you know, giving you this kind of energy where they might be accusing you just because you don't give them all the time in your life, then remember, it's something that this person needs to heal. And if this doesn't work out, ultimately, there's other people that might be a better option for you. So it's not your job to fix someone, okay? Let's see. What would this person say to my Leos right now, please? So we've got, it's too late, I moved on and do not wish to reconnect. So this could be someone who potentially has already given up on this. But again, this is maybe how they feel right now. It doesn't mean they might not be open to things. I guess it depends on where on your timeline you are. Because if this is something that's happened in the past, I mean, they might be open to a conversation, but they will have to see that you're coming from a different energy than what was happening before. I fell in love with you the moment we connected. So again, this is someone who does, or at least did, feel that love for you. And if they left, they felt like they were forced to leave because there was something that, no matter how much they gave you, just wasn't good enough in your eyes. And then I have, my emotions for you are still there. So this could be someone who's, if this is someone that you have dealt with, and it could be the past that maybe has done something, I feel like that could also be the message from that person, which could be pulling on you, and that could be why it's getting you into that energy with someone else. But like I said, this person does really love you, or they have strong feelings for you, and they do see that long-term potential with you. It's just there's something causing unhealthy attachment, something that's causing the rift within you two, and ultimately that disconnect. And whoever in this situation is the one that needs to address something, some kind of trust issue, some kind of wounds that they need to heal first. Again, if that person sees you working towards it, or you see that person working towards it, I feel like there's a willingness to work on this. But again, if this person is so unaware and not willing to see it, then they're just ready to let it go because they want something long-term and healthy. And for that, they're not willing to keep themselves stuck in something they feel like is not going to work. Okay, so I hope this helps. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I would love to hear in the comment section how this has resonated for you. And if that's us, I will see you next time. Bye.